I've done it again.
You did it again, Eric. Come on, brother.
If we were going to kick off a first episode, why not no audio? It's better for me when I'm listening to you not to hear you. So this is good. Hey, can you see me?
What happened? What?
She told me to click it, and I had it on mute. I had it on mute.
Wow. Great way to start the first episode of our podcast, Eric.
Technology these days just knows what you want before you're even able to do it. So again, me not being able to hear you is just to show you how amazing and technology is reading my mind.
Technology. It's all technology. I'm glad you're here now, Eric. Let's start off this podcast, shall we?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. Whoa, yeah. So welcome to our first podcast. Eric, this is exciting stuff, man.
PITMASTERX, I'm so pumped up, man. This has been a long time coming. I tell you, a long time coming.
We talked about this, I think, maybe for 2 years already. We actually recorded something. Do you remember when we did the 7 strip? In the back of the car, we were recording like a whole podcast episode, but we never published it.
We didn't publish it, but it's out there somewhere. I think we recapped the entire 7-country road trip while we were on some extremely long, Italian stretch or something like that. Yeah. With a Jeep that went like 15 miles per hour with no accurate gas gauge. That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's it. 700 kilometers with 80 kilometers an hour, time to burn. Recording a podcast. So awesome.
We never ran out of gas while I was driving. That's all I'm going to say. I got pictures that say,
that's not a way to start off a new podcast, man. We got to do the introduction properly first. So let's talk to the people about what this podcast is about. And I can make it very clear in only one sentence. It's just 2 guys, a barbecue, food, and having fun. That's it.
That sums it up.
Life's easy. Just roll with it.
If you were to put all the words in a 10-gallon bucket and reduce it down to what you wanted, that's it. What you just said, and this is one of probably the few times we'll agree on this podcast. So I'll just throw that out there too.
Yeah. So just a quick intro. We like to disagree. That's like a thing. So let me introduce Chef Eric, and he can introduce me. Chef Eric is one of the best culinary chefs that I know of, and he's the culinary director for Kamado Joe. He travels around the world to throw parties. That's his job. He actually gets paid to do that. And otherwise, he's just having fun. That's what I know about him.
That's pretty accurate. I live in Hillsborough, North Carolina. My fair state here, and I've got 2 daughters and a lovely wife, Jenny, who keep me honest and make sure my hat doesn't get too big for this head. I would like to introduce my good friend, and you always say I don't pronounce it right, Royal Westra. How was that?
That's right. That's perfect.
AKA PITMASTERX, beloved around the world. I first came across PITMASTERX watching his YouTube videos. He is a YouTube sensation, does not come from a classical culinary background, which I love. He's sharing his learning adventure along the way and taking everyone with him. No one engages with the audience better and your subscribers than PITMASTERX does on all platforms. That's Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, all of it. And I really admire your versus, steak versus this steak, and let's try this. It might not work out, but let's do it together. And I think your curiosity that you share with everybody, your triumphs, your tribulations, everything, transparency, beautiful stuff. This is my good friend, PITMASTERX.
Wow. Kind words, man. Humbling. Thank you very much.
You better record that one, buddy.
You won't get it again. I got it on tape. Yeah. Awesome. So we got to talk about what's going on today, because you're going to be cooking something, right?
Yeah, you know what? we're right now. What's going on is incredible. With COVID-19 and the coronavirus, I have, just like many others, been outside cooking. Right, we want to get outside if we can. If we're not in a big city situation, it's just great for your health to be outside and to fire up the grill. Something we could do in the ovens, on the stoves. It just feels better to be outside. So I feel like there's no better time on earth to be a griller than right now with everything going on. And I do have a couple of really cool things, at least cool in my book, going on the grills here. I've got one Kamado Joe, Big Joe, with something low and slow going on. And then the other one on the other side is a bit of Fast and Furious. And I want to show people how to make their weeks a little easier, especially those working from home and trying to educate their children at home. I mean, there's a lot going on right now.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot going on. And I would really like to get specific on what you're actually cooking for us. So what do you got? Sure. What do you got going on, man?
So again, I hail from the fair state of North Carolina, and I'm pretty proud of our pork, our world-class pork. Okay, so again, I got a Kamado Big Joe 2 here. And can you see that temperature gauge, Rule?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
300 degrees Fahrenheit. That's about $150 Celsius. And I got this gorgeous pork butt, but it's not just any pork butt. Okay, this comes from the Ferrari pork, Cheshire pork here in North Carolina, and I've got some really nice juicy pineapples that are kind of reducing and becoming more powerful. And then I've got some hickory from the backwoods, and I just continue to kind of dry that out, plug it in. Notice how I'm getting fire right off the bat. Can you see that flame, PITMASTERX?
Oh yeah, looking good, man. I know you're creating flavor right there.
Flavor bomb all day long, and something about being able to get combustion right when you lay those on gives you that good smoke. So that's that blue smoke we're looking for. Notice I'm not doing this indirect. I'm just building up beautiful bark on this piece, occasionally dabbing with my pineapple. So this is fun stuff. Now, I did one of these yesterday in practice and came up with a little pulled pork, okay? And this is not sauced or seasoned except for the outside. And then I've got some fun kind of stir-fried vegetables, your baby bok choy, which you separate the stem work from the leaf work, mung beans or bean sprouts, mushrooms, carrots, onions. Now we'll come over to the KJ Classic, and I've got some okra going and some tomatoes, and I'm looking for a bit of char here, okay? So want to see a fair amount of char, and that's for me. So I'm going to chop these up, bring a bit of acid, and that's going to be mixed up to bring a bit of acid to that dish.
So you got two grills set up, Chef Eric, and do you like to cook on two grills at the same time? What does it give you?
I mean, I can do everything I need to with one grill, but as far as like versatility, you know, if we've only got 1 hour to showcase what you can do on a Kamado Joe, I gotta have both temperatures going, because a low and slow, like we've got this pork butt on here, might take 6 to 7 hours. I've got the finished product already, and I want to show you what you can do when you raise the temperature of the grill. So that's the only reason I've got two going today. It's just kind of like a culinary jungle gym. I'm bouncing back and forth, having a good time. You know,
you're just playing.
I'm always just playing. Yeah.
Nice, looking good, man. Looking good. Hey,
thanks, Chef.
I would like to talk to the people about what we did last Saturday, and I had fun. It was like old school, hardcore, pioneering. Nobody's ever done it before. Crazy stuff.
Yeah, that was a brainchild of Barbecue Forte. You can follow him on Instagram. Really amazing. KJ Live. Let me see if I can plug this back in real quick.
Yeah. So the KJ Live event was actually a 24-hour live event that we did on all of the Instagram accounts of KJ owners, like a hardcore groups of KJ owners, which I'm lucky to be one of. And we were able to just, Ben Forte, he created, Ben Forte is an amazing guy, but he created like a list. Everybody could say like, hey, I want this time slot for an hour. Let me do a live stream. And everybody was doing what we started at like our time, like the Amsterdam time, it was like 11 in the morning, and it went on all through the day. Just kept on going. Dutch people, people from the Netherlands, people from Germany, from UK, from where did we all come
Bro,
from?
don't forget that we ended in Australia because we went all the way around, circumnavigated, and started through all the time zones. Luke Rutz finished up in Australia.
That's
Skipper
freaking awesome.
Rutz.
Yeah, that's freaking awesome. So the whole world was joining us on this beautiful adventure. And it was an online adventure while the coronavirus was keeping everybody at home. We could still have an event. And that was so cool because, in my personal opinion, that's what barbecue is about. Barbecue is about getting people together, bring your cooker out, no matter what you're cooking. It doesn't matter what you cook. It doesn't matter what your recipe is. If you're making a burger or if you're making striped bass, nobody cares as long as you're having fun and as long as you're sharing it with your friends and family.
That's the key. That's the key, is sharing. And I think that's how we're able to break down these walls of self-isolation and quarantine. I know that's not a word we'd like to say, but we're in unprecedented times right now, and barbecue or grilling outside is really one of those ways that we can get out and interact with each other. Now that we've got these social streams and we're able to do this stuff together, separate but together, it's really, really cool. I mean, there was more than 2 million impressions from that live stream from all around the world. That's cool. So barbecue bringing people together, as it would in your neighborhood, but certainly online. How about you, Pitmaster X? I've never gotten more requests for recipes and tips and techniques. Like, engagement is just through the roof right now. You seeing that?
Yeah, I think we felt the urge and the need to actually start creating things. People out there really felt the need of receiving things, just feeling like they're not the only one in their backyard. And normally they would have their friends and family there, and now they had people in the live stream there. And actually, I shared my screen like a couple of times, but one guy was actually cooking one of my recipes on the smoker, and it was so cool. He was making sweet chicken legs. Amazing recipe, amazing guy, and awesome for sharing. And I love it when people come together like that. It's just so very unique. So, and this is like everything is new here. Right? We're doing this podcast. It's a new thing. I asked a couple of people, I asked everybody, hey, you want to put in like maybe like an audience question? And we got an audience question for you guys. So let me pull it up.
Oh, I'm super pumped about this.
Hello, and Eric. Here is Lubomir from Slovakia. And my question is, what is your favorite part of beef? And when you come visit to Slovakia, no Slovenia, but visit to Slovakia. Thanks. Bye, guys.
Awesome. See you, buddy. Thanks for the question, brother. Slovakia is a beautiful part of the world.
Yeah. So
Pitmaster X, I don't know if you've ever been there. I've never had the fortune. It is on the list. Okay, that's in a top 7 right now, and I do have a list. So I think once everything blows over and travel starts to ease up a little bit, I will be there. So let's make a point. When I think about your part of the world in beef, I got to think goulash. You know what I mean? Slovakian goulash. There's nothing better. I love a rich, hearty soup, and I want to come there when there's snow on the ground. There's no question about it. So for me, there are no best cuts of beef. I go with the Italian. You look at Dario the Butcher. I'm with that kind of seam style of butchery, right? Every single cut of beef has its time, has its place, has its season, has its seasoning, has what it's good for. If you know anatomically where the cut comes from on the cow, you can determine what the cooking method's going to be. So the well-worked muscles need a little bit of low and slow love. The muscles like the tenderloin, which are inside the rib cage and don't see any work, they're not going to have a whole lot of marbling unless you're paying through the nose for that Wagyu or F5 or whatever you have. But I'm kind of the Anthony Bourdain approach that no self-respecting chef would ever purchase a tenderloin. Okay. I'm going ribeye. I'm going fat content. I'm going beef tongue. I had a Latin restaurant in Wilmington, North Carolina for years, and beef tongue was a huge part of it, right? That braised beef tongue, make tamales out of it. I'm still on this huge Latin kick. If I had to have one cut of beef for the rest of my life, though, PITMASTERX, tell me if I'm wrong here, it's got to be the freaking cheeks. It's got to be the cheeks all day long. I want that low and slow. I want that globular fat. I want to be able to refrigerate it overnight and see all that beef jello and give it the jiggle, 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 and just see it do that sexy wobble. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I'm feeling you. Especially with stews, man, beef cheeks, pork cheeks, they freaking rock. And
let's go to Slovakia and do a beef cheek goulash. And of course, we're going to have to buy a 1974 Jeep Wagoneer because they sold it out from under us. That was our ride. That was our chariot. That was our culinary barbecue hero chariot.
It was.
And they said wood panel.
It was a miracle that it lasted so long. It was a miracle that we made it through 5. You know, when I bought that thing and the owner said to me, so what are you going to do with it? And I said, we're going to drive it through 7 countries through Europe. He said, no, here's your money back. Don't buy it. Leave it where it is. Just buy something else.
Yeah.
That was too funny.
They're not even a dime a dozen over here in the U.S. where people know how to freaking work on them and you can get parts, you know? So you should have seen us driving down the Autobahn in this tank, the V8. I mean, sometimes we'd be in the heart of a city and PITMASTERX would just tear into it. Sounds like a diesel boat just to have people turn around and say, what in the world? And people love it or they hate it, right? It's like cilantro. They love it or they hate it. They turn around, they give you a thumbs up, and they give you the old Autobahn scowl. You know,
I love
yelling at me, get out of the fast lane. It's against the law.
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah.
You were constantly driving on the wrong side of the road, brother.
Okay. Look, we're driving an anchor. All right?
Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane that doesn't exist in the Netherlands, and especially not in Europe. What was awesome, a lot of people don't know this, but on the 7 trips, we just had this freaking awesome car, Jeep Wagoneer, and it was such an awesome beast. When we were driving on the Autostrada in Italy, Lamborghinis were stopping, pulling up aside us, waving at us like, whoa, man, freaking awesome car, and then just went for it, left off, like, and we give it a little raw, but
just let them hear about it a little bit.
Little noise. That's all she had.
Yeah. And then the windows broke.
And then a lot of stuff broke. It was an old lady. It was really an old lady, but we had fun. So, but getting back to Lubomir, because he had a great question, and I think you answered it. A nice answer is like getting like cheeks in, going low and slow, a lot of fat, a lot of flavor. I absolutely love that. And when you're looking for like the more popular cuts that people like to do with barbecue are, for instance, like picanha. But I'm telling everybody, picanha is nice, but if you're going to go for something really awesome, just take a tri-tip or do something else. Just venture around, you know.
That's a great suggestion.
And I love tri-tip personally, and I absolutely love the way it cooks, you know, and especially when you get like a nice grain fed or USDA prime. Tri-tip is the thing. It's absolutely fantastic. And I also love my chuck steaks. I can't believe how tender they actually are. You know, they have texture, but they're tender as well. They got a lot of fat and a lot of flavor. So definitely try out chuck steak as well. It's cheap, it's easy to cook, and it has a lot of flavor.
Wait. I got to interject on the chuck steak, chuck tail flat. Have you tried that?
Can't say I do.
So if I move this darn chair, if I'm the cow and I'm walking around,
what
right,
are you doing?
This is
People can't see this, but Eric is pretending to be a cow. If you're watching the video podcast, you're lucky. But Eric is. What are you doing?
Hey, remember when I took you cow fishing? All right, so they're going. This is the chuck. Underneath the chuck are the first couple ribs, rib 1 through 5, and that's the meat that's called the chuck tail flat. And just behind that is the short ribs. So the short ribs used to be really affordable, and then Rachel Ray and the freaking Food Network got a hold of it, and they went sky high. But the chuck tail flat ribs are still really affordable. So that's one of my favorite meats to cook low and slow on the bone. You can dino pastrami it as well. It's got all that collagen in it that you
Is
like to
that
find
kind
in
of
the
like
chuck. It's a little more.
it's more like bacon? It's like at the belly fat?
It's not the belly portion. It's not getting into that flat meat. It is like the short rib, but with more fat content inside. Not just the cap, but intermuscular marbled in. And so
it's
when you
just
low and slow it,
before the belly. It's just before the belly.
yes, before the belly and higher. So it's almost right in there. That good stuff right there that you want.
People can see it. It's a podcast, Eric.
I thought we were putting this on YouTube.
Yeah, we're putting it on YouTube, but people can't see. If there's
you got me walking around on all fours, mooing like a cow, showing people where the chuck tail flat is, and
listen.
See it?
People are on iTunes, they're on Spotify, they're in the car driving to work, man. They're like going to
I don't even know what Spotify is. This is incredible. I'm learning all kinds of stuff.
You're everywhere. You don't even know where you are.
I'm gonna have to buy a Spotify now. There it is.
There it is.
I'm just kidding. I have Spotify because Pandora can't go international, so I lose all my music when I leave the U.S. You know, it's I have to have Spotify, but I don't have my good playlists on there. I didn't realize you could do podcasts on Spotify. That's cool.
You're on Spotify, man. At least I hope so. If I get this thing figured out. So, how's the cook going? What stage are we in?
This is what we want, chef. This is what we want. And then I've got some Sailor Jerry rum that we're going to splash on here and get some flambe.
Looking good, man.
So I took it. Can you see?
Definitely.
So I forgot. We really not looking. A lot of people can't see. What we've done is I've carved off the outside of a pineapple, and splashed a little bit of brown sugar and rum on there. And I've got it sitting right next to this beautiful piece of Cheshire pork butt, but it's not the whole entire pork butt. Chef, can you see how that's a little bit smaller than your average pork butt?
Yes.
So that is specifically the money muscle, okay? And they call it the money muscle because it's the most marbled piece of the Boston butt. And the way we can remember that anatomically is on a leg. Boston from North Carolina is north, and you need your leg to walk to a picnic. So your picnic ham is south, and your Boston butt is north. So this is the top outer part of the Boston butt where the money muscle is, and they call it the money muscle because that's how all those pitmasters make that money when it's time for competition. That's
money.
It's that money. And sometimes I make a honey money sauce, and that's just honey and a little bit of ground black pepper, and I pour it right over top.
So people shouting at you, "Hey, Chef Eric, show me the money!"
Show me the money.
That's what you show. That's what they get.
That's what I go to.
Awesome.
So I'm gonna switch some of this pineapple over to the direct grill. It was at about 200 and 250, 275, but now we're gonna come over here and throw it on the direct grill grates. I want a little more char and a little more caramelization, chef. So can you see that Sailor Jerry?
People can't see. It's a podcast. I can see it, but they can't. They're in the car. Keep your eye on the road, man. Whoa, Chef Eric is throwing. Flames are shooting everywhere. Be careful, man. Oh man,
so
that's crazy.
Flambe.
Yeah, you just firebombed me with it.
Yeah, I just firebombed you. I firebombed the phone too, so don't be surprised. I've been doing this a lot lately on podcasts, and the phone cuts out. The phone cuts out.
Come on, tell me, is it liquor? Is it whiskey? What is it?
Yeah, so it's spiced rum. It's called Sailor Jerry. It's spiced rum, and it is just the best thing on pineapple. You flambe a little bit, and what happens? Yeah, the flames are cool, but what we're really after are those residual sugars in the rum that caramelize and give us those vanilla notes and those hickory notes. And you flambe the pineapple, cut it up into little pieces. Hell, I don't care if you put it over vanilla ice cream. That's good stuff. But what we're going to do today is we're going to cut it up, and we're going to talk to folks about how to take this pork butt and extend it past just pulled pork barbecue. Okay. And what I want to do is get our soapstone or a flat hot surface and just do a very quick vegetable stir fry where we'll knock in some bok choy, some onions, mushrooms, shredded carrots, mung bean sprouts, ginger, roasted garlic. And then maybe we deglaze with a little of that Sailor Jerry, and then we knock in some of that pineapple. And then we take some of yesterday's shredded barbecue or shredded pork butt and lay it right in there. So second day, all of a sudden, we've got a meal that only takes, once it's prepped up, it happens very fast. It's like doing a stir fry, right? So our second day,
this guy just keeps on talking.
We mix this in,
and we're ready. Please stop. I'm getting so hungry.
You don't tell me how to live my life. There you go again. I'm on a roll, and I had to stop what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm getting so hungry, it hurts.
I don't even know why I talked to you.
Please
I don't even know why I talked to you. And now I know that we're not even being on video, and I trim my beard, I comb my hair. You know, I mean, this is time out of my day.
Yeah.
You know, this is time out of my day.
People can't see your hat on podcast. That's why we're doing a podcast. It's better this way. I like your shirt though. It looks good. Oh, keep it on. Keep the shirt on.
I'll take it off.
No.
Nobody can see.
I'm not looking.
I don't even know what I've always set up this Zoom thing. Okay.
Oh, brother. Hey.
No, it's good.
We need to talk about something serious though.
Yeah.
Come on.
Totally.
Put your Jesus.
All right. So
I can't show people this. It's like
you're not showing them anyway. They're driving in their car. Folks, 2 hands on the wheel. What do they say? 11 o'clock, 3 o'clock? No, that doesn't sound right.
Oh, brother. This is. I knew this was going to be the problem. This is too much fun.
What?
Much fun. We should have called this podcast Too Much Fun.
We can call it whatever we want to.
I think
we need to take a vote. Once we're into hey, let me tell you this.
We should change
KJ Live was going on. KJ Live, and you can cut this if you want to. KJ Live was going on. And, one of my favorite people on this entire planet has got to be Chef Tom from All Things Barbecue. Okay. And so I'm so looking for, I watched yours. It was incredible. We hopped on together for a couple seconds. Really fun stuff. Chef Tom's about to come on, and I tell him, yo, bro, for sure, I'm gonna hop on with you, and we can do this thing together. And so, all of a sudden, I get a phone call from my wife, and we've been quarantined. Okay, we've been really good about not going anywhere, grocery stores, nothing. We've been quarantined for about 30 days since Kamada Joe sent me to New Orleans, which is like right after Mardi Gras. It's this huge hotspot for coronavirus. So my family's like, you're not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere. We're not putting anybody in danger. And she goes, and she's a master gardener. She goes and like tries to lop off 2 of her freaking fingers using the electric hedgers. And I'm only 3/4 of the way through KJ Live. And I had to bail for a couple hours, and my poor wife is like being this champion, she's holding it together. And we had to go to a what are those places called? Not a medac, not an ER, because we tried to avoid that at all costs.
Yeah, don't go to the ER now.
I'm not trying to go to the ER right now. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
But there's this little doc in the box deal, and nobody was there. If you had a fever, they sent you away to a place in Durham. Yeah. So she went. She didn't have to wait on anybody. She was right up there, 13 stitches and 2 fingers. And while I'm waiting in the car, we finished KJ Live. That's what's up, And then my wife comes out. We got the masks on. We go. We're freaking back in quarantine for another 30 days. Here we go.
So, you got a dangerous wife, man. Tell her to be careful with that stuff.
Bro, I'm throwing axes. I got kids.
Don't throw axes. See,
to throw boomerangs.
Now I know why they sent you on the road. Now I know why they sent you on the road. They sent you on the road because it's safer. It's safer if you're on the road. That's why they do.
I'm from the restaurant industry, brother. I'm freaking, pirate and miscreant. What do you do? And speaking of that, all these restaurant folks not suffering right now.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what's going to happen. This is like the season. All these beach restaurants, terraces, nice weather coming in Europe. Everybody wants to go out. Everybody wants to sit on the terrace, drinking beer, having fun with their friends. This is the season where they started to make the most money, preliminary to the real like summer season, and they're not getting any. It's like zero, and still they have to pay rent. They have to come up with like money to pay for the building. They got all the staff on hand. Like, wow, man, what's going on? I don't know how it's going to end. It's going to take like another 3 months. Who has 3 months of salary and rent laying around? Nobody. So I know in the Netherlands we got a sweet deal because the government is paying the actual wages of the people that work in restaurants. So that's a good thing. People can have cheap loans at the moment or free loans, but still, it's a struggle. It's definitely a big struggle.
Listen, I come from that world. That is, 20 years of working in restaurants, owning restaurants. That's when you work in a restaurant with somebody that you're spending more time with them than you are your family, right? I mean, this is, and people are having to make choices whether to close their restaurants down or sacrifice one person's salary versus another person's or an entire staff. The pickup thing's helping a little bit for some of the restaurants, people being able to come to, but you make your margins in the booze for a lot of restaurants. So being able to, having to cut that out is really tough. But Chef, I'll tell you, we haven't seen anything like this since the late 1700s. When you think about the birth of the modern restaurant,
and the crazy thing is like,
about the French,
but if you think about
the French
this,
Revolution,
the whole thing,
the French Revolution.
Yeah, but the whole thing with this virus is like we're such a highly sophisticated world that we live in, all this technology, and like a simple virus, like something like a crazy, it brings us to our knees, and it's just something. Man, we can go to the moon, but we're unable to stop a virus. That's how crazy this is.
Yeah, and think about if it's something larger, you know what I mean? Let's say asteroids come through and there's an EMP and it wipes out all of the the electronics, and now we've got really no way to communicate with each other. I mean, what happens to society? I think so far society's doing great. We're not seeing any collapse. We're not seeing an archaic system and people storming the streets. I mean, we've done pretty well to this point. True, but I'll also remind you, we've only been dealing with this for 6 weeks, bro. So it's just like you've dropped the rock into the puddle now. We haven't begun to see the ripple effects. There's not been, most businesses haven't even gone through an entire billing cycle yet. So we don't know what the financial ramifications are going to be, or here in the US, how we're going to deal with them. I mean, it's going to be a scramble. We're just seeing the beginning of it now. But I've got faith. Hey, big girl. Oh, my daughter's walking by now. I've got faith in us figuring it out, but this is a good stress test for the system. And I don't say good by, I'm thinking about everybody who's sick right now and everybody who's really struggling financially. But like you said, PITMASTERX, this is a scratch to the surface of what could happen. And I'm not saying go crazy and be a prepper and
I think actually we should do the opposite thing. Of course, like the first rules, like stay at home, self quarantine, but the good thing is like we're barbecues. We're the best self quarantiners you've ever seen. Everybody's got a big freezer full with meat. We got our cooking equipment outside. If the sun's shining, we're in the backyard.
Paper towels.
Yeah, we got everything. We're the best self quarantiners there are in the world. So if anyone is prepared, we are. But I think like the trick here to survive is like just keep on doing what you're doing. Like we're building a barn right now at the house. And it's a barbecue barn. I could say, okay, we're going to stop right now. I'm going to save my money, put it in a bank, maybe if it gets worse. But people are depending on that money. The construction crew, they got a family to feed. So I decided we're just going to push on because in the end, I want to come out of this crisis as a better, a better situation than I went going in. So I want to push on. I want to make sure that these people have the money for their family, and they can keep on building. And in the end, I'm going to have like a beautiful barn for the next winter. You know, if it's not going to work out financially, and I'm taking that risk just to try and keep pushing on in this economy. And if everybody's just going to put their money in their pocket and say, hey, I'm not going to buy that new grill. Hey, man, I'm not going to buy any charcoal. No, I'm not going to buy any meat. You're going to personally kill the economy. Yeah, that's not good.
I'm finding that's not what's happening worldwide, though. I mean, Kamada Joe, speak candidly. I feel like we're in a kind of a bubble that we've created. We've got such great leadership there that they've kind of had the foresight to spread out to be more of a global market, to do more e-commerce, to have places to be able to ship from around the world. And, though we might not be hitting our numbers right now, we're certainly doing as well, if not better, than this time last year. So you're seeing a company pull together, tighten their bootstraps a little bit, and staying to work, but keeping everybody at home. You watch PITMASTERX. Things will not be the same after we recover from this. You're going to find more and more companies saying stay at home. You're going to see more teleconferences than ever before. The ripple effect that we're going to see from this, there's going to be a before coronavirus the way things were done, and an after coronavirus the way things are done. This is bigger than you and I can possibly imagine. I'm sure of it. You know.
Yeah, we can only imagine what's going to happen. But the way, if we all just keep a positive head, we're going to come out a better way. And I still believe that like barbecue brings people together, and like the barbecue community, just having fun online, barbecuing, sharing, it gives everybody a big boost, just sharing the food and the fun things, because there's a lot of misery on the TV and radio and stuff like that. We should be having fun. So I see you opened a couple of beers there, and you're having fun.
Well, I think too is that subconsciously our obsession with food right now is kind of us being able to have control over something. Like you said, there's so much unknown, but to be able to get out there and start the grill up and scratch that primal itch and, interact with the fire and have that sense of comfort, yet that sense of danger, and we're managing the food. I mean, you're ever present in the moment. That's what barbecue brings. And then the shareability of it. As long as we're doing it safe, I tell you, we get the masks on, we get the gloves on, we're dropping food off at the neighbor's house. I mean, it's still some beautiful things. And the creativity that's coming from all around the world about this stuff is really cool too. Like, I've never seen such creative culinary work come from all these chefs that are at home. I mean, look at Eric Repair, the #1 chef in the world from Le Bernardin. He's showing people how to make a potato and leek soup his way, and
that's cool, right?
When do you get this kind of insight or get access to these people?
So
these are unheard of times, but there's going to be a lot of positive things that come from it. No doubt about it.
So true.
I have someone that I think would really like to be a guest, a celebrity, our first celebrity guest.
Who is it?
You remember Jackass with Johnny Knoxville?
Yeah.
And there was Wee Man?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he is tearing it up right now on Instagram with his Joe Jr. that he just got from Barbecue HQ. And the cooks he's doing, I mean, he's one of those guys that started cooking with natural lump charcoal after being off of it for a couple of years, and he's just hooked. His every other story is interacting with people while he's grilling and stuff. And I've reached out to him here and there, and he's reached out, and I think he'd be a good fit for our podcast. He's just super excited about it. I mean, he kind of embodies what happens when you start barbecuing and getting in there, and somebody who was just traveling, and boom, now he's home, and this is what he's focusing on.
Cool. Yeah. We need to get people on. We need
to get. got 1-point-something million followers. You know what I mean?
Wow. But we need opinions. Like what?
Yeah. So I'd like to reach out to him and ask him, and that goes for anybody listening. You know what I mean? If barbecue has changed your life in one way or another, let us know about it, right?
So
it's hot here. It's almost 80 degrees Fahrenheit here, brother.
Well, I think we have around 40 degrees Fahrenheit. It's like But we don't see your sweat drip, so that's fine.
Yeah, well, I want to get to this this quick stir fry before we're not able to do it. You mind if we kind of tap into that real quick?
Yeah, oh, I love to, man. Go ahead. Go ahead, do it.
Let me see how I can do this one-handed, or better yet,
As long as we can hear
I'm
you.
just gonna. Yeah, you can hear me.
So we're going over to the classic.
Going on to the KJ Classic, I'm sitting at 450 degrees.
And you got to set in one of these carts. Is that like a Kamada Joe cart?
Yeah, it's a KJ cart.
And how's that working? What features does it have? Like a table on top?
Yeah, it's got a marble top here that I put a cutting board on. It's got a nice drawer that you can't slam. You close all the way, and then it sets in the rest of the way. You got two big drawers here where you can put all your accessories.
Charcoal.
And the cool thing about it is on the back of it, there's a place to put your jotisserie.
Nice.
So, that's
Oh, that's kind of cool. That's kind of
enjoy it.
Dude, I don't believe they sell this in Europe. This cart. I haven't seen it in Europe.
They might not even sell it in the U.S. anymore. I don't know. I got a hold of one as I was like, I love the looks of that.
And the way I'm looking at it, you got that soap zone set up. You got the grill grates, soap zone on the left, grill grates on the right, greasing it up with a little grease.
No, I didn't use grease. I roasted some garlic in a small cast iron pan while the grill was heating up. And then I used that garlic oil to season the soapstone. I've got it at the highest portion of the divide and conquer system on the left-hand side. And I'm just going to start adding, I've got some vegetables. I'm going to start with my most fibrous vegetables. They're all raw. And let's see if we can hear some of this. I've got onions and carrots going on right now.
I can hear it, but move that microphone closer. We're going to tune it.
Yep. And so you've got your carrots and your onions in there. I'm going to put a little ginger in there as well.
You know what happens?
Tell me.
The microphone of your smartphone cuts out the sizzling because it considers it's to be noise. So it's cutting. So it's like it's cutting it out. So when you're talking, you can hear the sizzle, but when you're not talking, it just cuts it out because it thinks it's noise.
Like Dave Coulier, cut it out. Got it.
Cut it
so
out.
I'm going to continue to add vegetables.
Yeah, nobody hears it. But we got to figure that out. Yeah, just talk to me, Eric, so we can hear the sizzle.
Oh, you can only hear the sizzle when I'm talking?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. So I just put down a little bit of ginger, a little bit of onion, some sliced bell peppers, some shredded carrots, some mushrooms, and I'm on the soapstone, and everybody's kind of talking to each other. You can hear that sizzle going on right now. And again, I'm cooking on the soapstone on the Kamada Joe Classic 2. I've got it in my KJ cart.
Nice.
And
Nice.
I've got full coverage, so not a lot of stuff stacked together, and everything's just kind of coming together. I've cut that bok choy into two separate pieces.
Hey,
I've got
my eye is spotting plants in the background. Is that chili plants? Is that basil? No, it's chili plants, right?
Oh, don't you worry about those plants, buddy.
Oh, no, they're not that. No, I'm a Dutch guy. I know those type of plants. They're not that.
I've got a garden started, so I've got strawberries back there.
Strawberries.
I've
nice.
got a couple different types of heritage-style tomatoes.
Ooh.
One's called the Mortgage Payer.
The mortgage.
Atomic cherries.
I need some of those.
Yeah. And, we got a bunch of different basil. What else do we plant? Green beans, which we're going to do some kind of really cool thing where you plant them in a circle and then put 6 sticks into a teepee and you let the green beans climb up the sticks and create a tent,
Nice.
Okra we planted, cucumbers we planted, peppers we planted. I mean, North Carolina is pretty good for that. Maybe you hold this so I can do two pairs of tongs real quick. And we're really just using the audio. PITMASTERX, say hey to my wife, Jenny.
Hey, Jenny.
How are you?
I'm doing great. See, we already have a celebrity on the podcast. Eric's wife, Jenny. Hey, I heard
He's our first guest.
you got two fingers
I
left.
did tell a little story about your hand.
Oh, Lord, yeah,
Yeah.
I was distracted.
How are you going to explain that?
I was distracted. There's no question about that.
Hey, big girl.
I haven't had stitches since I was 5 years old.
See?
It's ironic that it happened
Yeah.
during this time.
Perfect timing.
So everybody is going to be listening and not actually seeing. But they can only hear the sizzle when we talk. All right. So I've got a really nice, and tell us if you're seeing something different. I've got a really nice matted bed of vegetables here. And then I've got a plethora of things I can throw on, right? I'm gluten free right now.
What? Why? What happened?
It's just crushing my hands, bro.
Ah,
Like even soy sauce or beers, I've got to
What?
stay away from. So I'm
No.
using tamari now.
You can't have ketchup manis. Sweet soy sauce.
No, but I can make my own with tamari.
Oh.
So listen to this.
Yeah, you can't hear it.
that?
No.
And we have thunder in the background. That means good fortune when it comes to cooking on the soapstone.
Oh, it's such a shame people can't hear it. Let me talk about what people should be hearing. Chef just threw on a whole lot of liquid on that soapstone, and it's sizzling. I can see it. For the people that are not seeing this, it's crazy. All these vegetables on the soapstone. What was that fluid that was going on? How do you call it?
We call it local honey.
Yeah, but the one before that.
Tamari.
Tamari. And I know it's sizzling. It's
free soy sauce.
Oh, okay. Sweet soy sauce, but not soy sauce.
Yeah.
Like a fake one.
We're going to cut in some of that pineapple that we've been flambeing with the Sailor Jerry rum.
Ooh, nice. Who's going to eat this?
Me and Jenny, man. This is one of those meal prep things. I'm trying to tell you, everybody listening in their car right now or listening at home, if you got kids or if you're trying to make meal prep.
Nice.
You can smoke 4 or 5 different proteins, small amounts of it, and then just have a bunch of chopped up vegetables in the refrigerator. And then once everything's prepped up, you're good to go. You've got so many options. A slightly different sauce with a different protein with the same vegetables, and you're doing stir fries every night that you prepped up the proteins on the weekend, and you've got a beautiful dynamic dinner served over maybe jasmine rice, ready to go within 5 minutes.
Yeah,
So
but I'm seeing something special happening. I see the caramelization on that soapstone. I think that's a magical thing about the soapstone. You see that caramelization where the vegetables are like sticking to the stone and you get kind of like a crust on your vegetables. That's like, whoa. What did you just throw on? Eric's throwing stuff on again. Sake. Nice. Crazy. Well, it appears that we've definitely permanently lost Chef Eric. And it's going to be that kind of a podcast, people. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be hectic. We're going to have a lot of fun and a lot of laughter over here. Yeah, that's right. We're going to have a lot of laughter. I don't know what happened. I don't know. He just cut out. He's on the other side of the pond, and I just can't contact him. Maybe his phone went out. Maybe everything set on fire. Maybe he blew up his garden. I don't know. It happens. He has snakes in the backyard. It kind of happens. So we're just going to have to find out. So if you want to find out what happens to Chef Eric, just listen to the next podcast, guys. It's going to be on iTunes. It's going to be on Spotify. You can find us on YouTube even. We got a special YouTube channel set up. You can find it. If you don't know where to find it, but you do know where my YouTube channel is, PITMASTERX or Chef Eric's YouTube channel, you will find a link over there. Otherwise, just look for Fired Up Barbecue Podcast on Google. You probably find us. Yeah, it's exciting stuff, and hope you're tuning in next time for the next episode. Thank you guys for watching if you watch it on our video podcast, and thank you for listening to our video podcast. And if you want to support this YouTube channel, if you want to support this podcast, then go over to our Patreon page and set up a support system there. Everybody's welcome, and if you can help us out there, that will be amazing. Make sure you follow Chef Eric on his Instagram account. It's freaking awesome. He got all his pictures of traveling the world and videos on there, and if anything's happening, you'll find out first when you are following Chef Eric on his Instagram. Check out mine if you want some freaking awesome pictures of barbecue and of food. I'll make you crazy every day, craving for the best food in the world. And yeah, check out YouTube videos on PITMASTERX on YouTube. See you guys next time. Until then, eet smakelijk and keep on grilling. Da da da.